Welcome, everyone. Today we're setting off on a journey, metaphorically speaking, to a really fascinating part of the world. It's a place maybe less familiar to some, but honestly, it's just brimming with ancient history, incredible architecture, and some really surprising natural beauty.
That's right. We're diving into Odisha, which is on India's eastern coast. And this deep dive, it's going to unpack the unique story of this region. We're drawing from our source material, Odisha, land of temples, kings, and culture.
Exactly. And our mission today, for you listening, is to really explore these layers, the history, the culture, the natural wonders that make Odisha quite remarkable. We want to uncover how its really deep past is still shaping things today, right up to the present.
hmm So let's start with the basics. Location. Odisha is right there on the eastern coast of India, along the Bay of Bengal. Bordering states are West Bengal, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, and Andhra Pradesh.
And the source material uses some evocative descriptions, doesn't it? Like tribal heartlands, sacred cities, and untamed coastlines. Gives you a real sense of place.
It does. It paints a picture straight away.
And the history, it goes way back. We're talking ancient Kalinga kingdom, right? That name resonates.
Absolutely. This isn't just, lines on a modern map. It's ancient Kalinga.
Yeah.
And the Kalinga War in 261 BCE. That's a huge moment highlighted in the sources.
Huge is probably an understatement. Ashoka the Great. This war changed him completely.
Completely. Imagine this powerful emperor, Ashoka, witnessing the sheer horror and bloodshed of the war. It led him to renounce violence, to embrace Buddhism. This wasn't just a personal change. It fundamentally shifted the path of his empire and honestly helped Buddhism spread across Asia and the world.
So an event in Kalinga, in what's now Odisha, had a global repercussion.
Precisely. A massive pivot point, you could say, stemming right from that conflict.
Wow. Okay, so after Ashoka, the region didn't just fade away. Other powers rose.
Oh, definitely not. You had powerful dynasties rule here.
Yeah.
The Eastern Gangas, the Somavamshis, later the Marathas, each left their mark, adding to the cultural and historical layers.
Right, building on that foundation.
And it's interesting, even the name changed. It was Orissa, but switched to Odisha in 2011
Why the change?
to better reflect the local pronunciation and its distinct cultural identity. A kind of reclaiming, you could say.
That makes sense. And this deep history, it's not just in books. It's literally carved in stone there, isn't it? The temples.
Oh, the temples. You really can't talk about Odisha without talking about the temples.
Bhubaneswar, the capital temple city of India. I read it has over 700 ancient temples. Is that right?
That's an incredible number, yes. Over 700. An astonishing concentration in one place.
And among those, Konark Sun Temple always comes up. UNESCO World Heritage Site.
It does, and the description is just perfect. A chariot made of stone, built for the sun god. It's visually stunning.
But there's that surprising fact about it, too, wasn't there? Something about how it worked.
Yes, this is amazing. The sources say it was actually designed as a working giant sundial.
A giant sundial, like you could tell the time accurately.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
By watching the shadows cast by the intricate structure. It just shows this, incredible understanding of astronomy and engineering way back then.
That's mind-blowing, ancient tech like that.
It really is.
And then there's the Jagannath Temple in Puri, another major site.
Hugely significant. It's one of the 4 char dams in Hinduism, these really important pilgrimage sites. And it's famous for the Rath Yatra, the chariot festival. Huge event.
Right, I've seen pictures of that. But there's also that strange detail about the flag.
Ah, yes, the flag. Our sources mention this fascinating detail. It apparently defies physics.
How so?
It always flies in the opposite direction of the wind.
Always. Opposite the wind. That doesn't...
Exactly. It's one of those things that makes you pause. Is it legend? Is it some forgotten architectural or aerodynamic trick?
Do the sources offer any explanation, like modern science looking into it?
They mostly highlight it as this intriguing, almost mystical feature. It speaks volumes about the ingenuity, maybe even lost knowledge, of the builders. How do they achieve effects we struggle to explain today?
It certainly adds to the mystique. And you mentioned another one, Lingaraja.
Lingaraja Temple, yes, back in Bhubaneswar. The sources praise its architectural perfection from the 11th century. Just another example of the incredible craftsmanship.
So much history etched in stone. But let's shift to the people, the culture. It sounds like a very diverse population.
Very much so. You've got the majority Odia speakers, people living along the coast, but also, really significantly, a large tribal population.
How significant?
The material points out it's about 22% of the total population. That's substantial. Communities like the Santhal, Khand, Banda, Huang, and many others.
Many others.
Get this, Odisha is home to over 60 distinct tribal communities. 60. Each with its own dialect, its own dress, its own ancient rituals and traditions.
Wow, 60 different groups. That's incredible cultural preservation.
It really is a living connection to ancient ways of life.
And religiously, it's predominantly Hindu, but other influences too.
Predominantly Hindu, yes. But you see strong traditions of Buddhism and Jainism historically, and also the tribal animist beliefs are very much alive. It's a real blend of spiritual practices.
And this cultural richness, it must express itself artistically too.
Oh, absolutely. The art scene is vibrant. Odissi dance is a major one. It's one of India's oldest classical dance forms, really beautiful and intricate.
I think I've heard of Odissi.
You likely have. Then there's Patachitra art, these amazing scroll paintings, incredibly detailed, and also things like the Chow mask dance, the intricate carvings we see on the temples, beautiful handloom textiles. Artistry is just everywhere.
It sounds incredibly rich, but this cultural backdrop exists alongside, well, modern economic realities. What do the sources say about Odisha's economy?
It's actually a major economic player for India, sometimes overlooked. It's described as a powerhouse for India's mining and metal industries.
Because of mineral wealth.
Exactly. Rich deposits of iron ore, coal, bauxite, really crucial resources.
Okay, so heavy industry. What about agriculture?
Also significant. Major producer of rice, also cashews. And being coastal, seafood is important too.
So it's this mix of industry and agriculture. But the sources mentioned challenges too, like poverty.
Yes, they do acknowledge that. While there's industrial growth, there are still real issues. Rural poverty, and crucially the impact of development, especially mining, on tribal communities. Tribal displacement is a serious concern.
Right, that tension between development and traditional lands and rights, that sounds familiar from other parts of the world too.
It's a classic, difficult balance. How do you use resources for national growth while protecting vulnerable communities and ancient ways of life? Odisha is right in the middle of that complex equation.
A difficult balancing act indeed. Okay, amidst all this, let's not forget the natural beauty you mentioned earlier. Chilika Lake sounds amazing.
It really does. Asia's largest brackish water lagoon. Imagine that. And it's a haven for wildlife, famous for flamingos, and also the rare Irrawaddy dolphins.
Dolphins and flamingos, that's quite a combination.
And it's not just Chilika. There are important wildlife reserves. Simlipal Tiger Reserve, Satkosia Gorge, the Bhitarkanika mangroves, which are vital ecosystems.
Tigers, mangroves, a lot of biodiversity.
Definitely. And the coastline itself, the sources mention this endless coastline with peaceful, less crowded beaches. Places like Gopalpur and Puri offer a different kind of coastal experience, perhaps.
Sounds idyllic. But combining that natural beauty and the industrial development, are there specific environmental challenges mentioned protecting these places?
Well, besides the general pressures of development, the sources do touch on that tension we discussed, particularly around mining in sensitive areas. Neongiri is mentioned as an example, a flashpoint for conflict between mining interests and tribal rights tied to sacred lands. It's presented impartially, just noting this tension exists.
A very real conflict. And then there's the location itself, Bay of Bengal. That means cyclones.
Yes, its coastal location makes it very vulnerable to cyclones and other natural disasters. It's faced some devastating storms.
That sounds incredibly tough.
It is, but here's where Odisha has built a remarkable reputation, something the sources strongly emphasize. Resilience.
Resilience how?
They've become leaders in disaster preparedness. Excellent early warning systems, efficient evacuation procedures, often community-led, and really effective post-disaster response.
So they've turned a vulnerability into a strength in a way, learning from disaster.
Exactly. They're often cited as a model for other coastal regions, not just in India, but globally. It's quite impressive.
That's genuinely inspiring. Okay, as we start to wrap up our dive, any final fast facts or key takeaways that really stand out?
Well, one interesting historical note is that Odisha was actually the first state in India formed specifically on a linguistic basis back in 1936.
Oh, first linguistic state. That's significant.
It is. And for me, thinking back, it's those specific, almost unbelievable details, Konark as a working sundial, the Jagannath flag.
Yeah.
They just stick with you.
They really do. The sundial one especially, that ancient ingenuity is just...
Wow.
It paints a picture of a place that's ancient, innovative, culturally deep, and remarkably resilient.
That sums it up well. From empires that shaped history to temples that defy logic, vibrant cultures surviving for millennia, driving key industries, hosting incredible nature, and facing challenges head-on. It's multifaceted.
A truly incredible journey exploring Odisha today.
It really has been. And maybe, as we finish, it leaves us with a thought, something for you, the listener, to consider.
Go on.
What does Odisha's story teach us about that ongoing, really global challenge? How do we balance modern economic development with preserving ancient traditions, cultural identity, and the essential natural resources we all depend on?
That's a big question, and Odisha certainly gives us a lot to think about there, a question with no easy answers.
Not at all. Something to mull over.